Alright, so today is November 4th. You do have an assignment in CK12, and it's the non-renewable energy. And it includes coal power, petroleum power, natural gas, fossil fuels, and nuclear power. It may show up a little bit different for you, but each one should have a read option and then the adaptive practice or the practice. So those are what you would do. Now, I would open the read in one tab and have the practice in another tab. All right? And then you can go back and forth if you need assistance. And as always, under shared resources, you have your textbook. All right? And so we're in chapter 5. You should have already read chapter 5. We've been over energy resources and non-renewable energy. So we just need to briefly talk about renewable energy. And renewable energy has a lot of promise. A lot of people are predicting that in the future, a lot of economy, jobs, careers are going to be tied to developing the infrastructure and alternative energy resources. Solar power is great. The sun provides way more energy than the entire planet could ever use. The problem is we have to be able to convert it to electricity efficiently, and we need to be able to store it efficiently. Okay. There are also places like this where in figure 2 here, that's a solar tower, and so there's a fluid inside, probably an oil or perhaps water, that as those mirrors reflect sunlight onto the tower, it heats up, and that creates an energy or a convection current. And then that convection current, it turns a generator that makes electricity. So those are really good in, especially out in deserts and whatnot. But there must be sunlight. If it's a really cloudy day or it's nighttime, you're going to have problems. Okay. No solar energy is going to work at night, or if it's really cloudy, it's not going to work very well. All right. It's still expensive. It's gotten cheaper over the last couple of decades, but it's still an investment. Solar panels require a lot of space, but they can be placed on the roof of any building. They can be placed on tops of cars. They even make solar panels that you can use to charge your phone. They make solar panels you can use to keep the battery of a motorcycle charged, so you never have to worry about it being dead if you only ride occasionally. Hydroelectric power. So you have this a dam, and as the water flows through the dam, it turns a generator that makes electricity. Now, one of the drawbacks, so there's an actual one, this is, it doesn't say where that is, but that's a hydroelectric dam. One of the drawbacks is the environmental impact. Now, it's not going to create carbon dioxide or anything like that, but what happens is it affects the ecosystem upstream as well as downstream. Downstream, there may be less water flowing, and that could affect the river ecology. But there could also, upstream, it floods because it builds up a reservoir. We can use ocean water as tides come in or out. As waves come in and out, we can use that to make electricity. Wind power. This is a picture of a wind farm. And these turbines that are gigantic, by the way, they don't look that big, but they really are. And as they turn, they make electricity. The problems is they're expensive, they can wear out quickly, and sometimes there are people who object to them because they block up their scenery, especially when they're offshore or near the beach. So that can be a problem or an obstacle. Geothermal power. So they pump water down into the earth near a place of geologic heat, and that turns the water to steam. The steam turns a turbine, and then the turbine makes electricity. All right, and so what you see coming out of those stacks is actually just steam. Right, so it's very clean, very safe. Let's see here. Biomass. You know, we can take corn and we can turn it into ethanol. We can do that with algae. There are some people working with algae that produce oils that could be used instead of like diesel fuels, or be turned into biodiesel. So there's a couple of videos that might be interesting to watch. I'll have to look to see if I can find this one somewhere else. And then that's it. Make sure you read the summary. Make sure you've read this. You should have already read it, but make sure you read it if you haven't. And there you go. And then we did a booklet, and then everybody's working on the CK12. All right. Have a good day and stay curious.